Yes! Oh, ladies and gentlemen who are with me in the chat, that's the order of those words. When I was like, oh, I'll start a minute early, and then it's still early. It's, okay, right now it's about on time. So I was going to hit start early, because I'm like, heck, it's just like a minute and a half. Might as well just start it now. But I was logged into my Twitch streaming thing, not my YouTube one, and I just decided instead of streaming to both at the same time, which I could have done, I decided not to. So, if you're wondering, that's what it is. I haven't done this in about 2 weeks. Forgive me if I'm a little rusty. It's cute. It's a pen. So I'm going to try to remember what my general disclaimers are. Be nice, people. Be nice to each other. If I have to get involved, let me tell you, it's going to be fun if I get involved. For me, maybe not for you. It goes something like this. And then I ask some questions. And I often, weirdly, why am I so low? That's weird. No, that's we're just going to live with that. All right. Often people don't generally answer the questions, and I go, well, you had your chance, and things happen. That's enough of that. Anyway, just this is a friendly place. Let's be friendly. We're here to learn and have a good time. The first 10 minutes of the stream, though, as per usual, it's just going to be me rambling. Letting people get in, settle down, grab some popcorn, whatever. After those first 10 minutes, it's going to be more rambling. But hopefully more on topic. Hopefully. Now, we are probably going to be watching some videos. I think today we're going to be probably looking at some Moorish Americans. It's not an official Moorish American stream, but I was talking to the people in chat that showed up early, and I was like, hey, what do you guys want to see? And they're like, that. I mean, there were some other things said, but this felt like a good one, as did all the others, but this felt like the best one for today, for me, for right now. So that's probably what we're going to be talking about. However, if you're feeling something else, feel free to shout out in the chat. Now, as far as shouting things out in the chat go, there's going to be a delay between when I say something and you say something, and I see that you said something. There's the delay. I think it's usually around 20 seconds. Could be more, could be less, depending on the positions of the moons of Jupiter. I don't know. So, patience. I'll try to keep an eye on the chat. I can't promise I'll see everything. I certainly won't see everything. But I try to keep an eye on it. Sometimes it even works. So, there is that. When we're watching these videos, there's going to be a lot of stopping, starting, so I can maintain the educational content that I like to describe my stuff as. And because fair use. It's a whole thing. So there's going to be a lot of that. If you don't like that, this might not be the place for you. I'm so sorry. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Now, if I speak too quickly, it happens sometimes. If I'm doing it for a while, first of all, if you're watching this live, the chat, you can let me know. Again, there's a delay. Again, I may not see it. Just patience. Use your own discretion. Please be reasonable. But I'm talking to you slowly. I'm so sorry. But if you're watching it not live, and you're watching it after the fact, in fact, you can change the speed of the video. That might help. If I'm in a tangent you don't really care about, and you're watching this after the fact, you can hit the arrow keys, or you can use your mouse, or your fingers if you're on a phone or a tablet device, and you can move that thing forward. You know what I'm talking about, the bottom of the video. Some people seem to need that reminder every once in a while. So I like to put it out in the beginning of my videos so I can just give them a timestamp if they complain. And folks, if there's a problem, first of all, I probably already know about it if it's after the fact. And if it's about the way I present information, it's probably not going to change. So I'm sorry, but if you're like, I'm going to leave that comment. Okay, but I'm just trying to save some people some time as we get to the 10-minute mark, of course. No, Hitchbot, we're not watching that. But also, hello, everyone. Who we got? I'm going to read off who we got. Or am I? Let me... Tusley, Aero Scout, Andrea, Anthony, Arisen, Blaze, Raven, me! Interesting. Catman 2, Delete Laws. No, that's the actual me. That's the fake Delete Laws, I assume. D-Man, the D-Man. Fraudy, hello, Fraudy. Freedom Fighter, Hitchbot, Iceplay, Jeff Hartshoot, You Got This, Juggernaut Jared Reed, Kathy White, Keith Newton, Lala Acosta, Lisa D, Lisa Alcazar, Mav. Hello, Mav. Mav tried to get me with the train. Train of Truth, ladies and gentlemen. If you're not familiar with the Train of Truth, it does something a little like this. And it does something a little like this. And then, I'll explain. That triggers on a $20 donation. All right, I'll send you back. Thank you. Which is a very generous donation. Don't think I don't know it. But if you put a question in your donation, the Train of Truth has an envelope on it, and it has a card in the envelope, and on the envelope it will have an answer. It might not be a good answer, it might not be the right answer, but there will be an answer, and I will read it. That's a fun thing that you know now. So, where was I? Mechanics, Mike's Diabetes World, Paul Berry, Pitbull Lover, Cyan Rose, Still Last Summer, Sam I Am, Sleeping Dog, The One Land, sorry. My eyeballs aren't what they used to be. My skin is also a lot less pale. I've been out in the sun a lot in the last 2 weeks. Military training. And by military training, I mean because I'm in the band. We just performed a lot. And we did military training. But I got it pretty good. It's a lot better than military police. Well, that's not true. It is a lot less physically demanding. I'll say that. It's a lot of work. The logistics of it. And everything that goes with it is a lot. But it's a lot of fun as well. You get to travel around the state. It's a pretty good time. So, all right, we got about 3 minutes, a little more than 3 minutes. What we got going on, everyone? What are we doing? Oh, Kathy White says Washington is hot as hell. We're all rambling and talking slow. Oh, it's so hot. Well, I mean, it's not like horrific, but it's definitely like I've been in worse. But like for Washington, it feels pretty hot. I'm not too happy about it, but I'm surviving. Like AC, I'm pretty lucky. So, Paul, why didn't you answer my question from 3 seconds ago? What question? There is no question. Oh wait, nope. You didn't ask a question 3 seconds before that comment. Gotcha. Nailed it. But I digress. Any updates on DeWitt? Probably, but not for me. I haven't been paying attention to him because I have moved on. There's not that much to talk about. I mean, there might be, but I am not. How hot is it? I'm not going back down that rabbit hole. I clawed my way out. I'm happy about it. I did what I needed to do. So, Sam I Am. Did I say? Yeah, Sam I Am. I heard about the flooding. My my former band director, who is also reserve police officer, who is also National Guard. Apparently, he was interviewed on the news, or he showed up on the news. I don't know, but I've heard, there's a lot of flooding, which unfortunate. I don't know the details though, but I do know of it. If his best life, I doubt that. You've moved on. What if he hasn't, says Hitchbot. That's a great question, Hitchbot. What if he hasn't? He probably hasn't. Based on what happened last time he got out. Yes. But I heard one of those fraud charges got dropped, Fraudy. The polygraph. Well, that wasn't fraud, necessarily. That was petty larceny, right? He ended up actually paying it. So I've heard. I have not checked. Things travel across the grapevine to me. But, yes. Anyway, we're almost at 10 minutes. Oh, we're getting there. Anthony Caruso says, so Chile has 2 investigations on him now for practicing law without a license, Nevada and Ohio. Now, the Ohio one is concluded, so we don't know where he is, we can't get to him, but probably. Nevada, my understanding is, yes, there is investigation. Interestingly, there is, if I have my information correct, there is an investigation into Matt DeCastro, the guy Chile was using as a courier into unauthorized practice of law. I don't think it would go anywhere. But rumors. There it is. Rumors. Close enough. We're at 10 minutes now. Ladies and gentlemen. All right. Into the meat and potatoes. Bam. Nope. We're going to check this out next. But bam. This is the one I wanted. Foot pedals. Sometimes I miss. So last 2 weeks I was doing my National Guard training. And also I was trying to deal with some of my legal shenanigans with the lawsuit I've been named as a defendant in a lawsuit that I consider to be frivolous. That is my personal opinion, but it is what I say. So if I say frivolous, just think of it as an opinion. Feel free to have the same opinion or not. It's fine. It's whatever. But Mr. Castro, the guy who has sued me, has issued a request for discovery. I'm not going to tell you what it is. I'm not going to give you my response just yet. That's a future thing probably, but he asked for a whole bunch of stuff that I don't have. That I don't have that information. He asked for a bunch of stuff that I was never involved in, so I don't have the information. And he asked for a bunch of stuff that is in, as far as I know, no way relevant to his lawsuit. And I asked him to explain why it was relevant, and he did not, in my opinion, do a great job of explaining why it was relevant. But other things that happened, I was calling attorneys and law firms, whatever, and trying to sort of be like, hey, guys, where should I go? What should I do? And it started with there's a service where they try to connect you with an attorney, and they connected me with the guy who ended up being the cheapest one. Too rich for my blood. Very nice. Very, very helpful. Talked way longer than he probably needed to about the whole thing. Attorneys are finding this very fascinating, but not like financially so, for the most part, in the sense that they're not like, it's so fascinating that I'll just do it. But they sort of started talking to each other, and then I got an email being like, yeah, I heard from this guy who you talked to that you had this case, and he was talking about the Electronic Frontier Foundation, and I was like, I'll just get a jump start on it, and I'll offer you a reduced rate. Now, the problem is this attorney is over $800 an hour, normal rate. He has reduced it significantly. The problem is when you have a very expensive attorney, and I think Kate might have found this out. This is something I know from personal observation. Not experience, but friends of mine have had this problem. If you have an attorney that is way too qualified for the case that you have hired them to work, sometimes they don't work that case very well because it's meaningless to them. It's not going to help their career out at all. And so especially with this guy taking it for a reduced rate, I have some concerns, but also the case is so nonsense. The concerns aren't really, I think, too solid, if that makes sense. I'm not too worried about it. I expect him not to put the same effort into this that he would a multi-million-dollar whatever, that like a legitimate case. But it certainly should be easy enough for him to deal with appropriately. And so we've started communicating about that, which is very exciting. The problem is his retainer is $15,000. That's a lot of money. I have paid that retainer. That's just, I have to maintain that amount, and then he bills me, and it takes from that, and then I have to replenish it. And so in the description, this is not, there'll be probably a different stream for this. This is not a fundraising stream. However, this is where I make it public that I have a GoFundMe if you want. You don't have to. You don't feel like I'm going to feel bad if you don't. People have already been very, very generous with YouTubers involved in these DeCastro shenanigans. And I don't want to ask anybody to reach into their wallets again if that's going to be a problem. Or obviously if they don't want to. If you're interested, if it isn't going to harm you financially and you want to make this easier for me, that's what's happening. I can weather this storm, I think, as it is. This is just taking a weight off my shoulders. It means I don't have to take out loans. I don't have to get a second mortgage on my house, that sort of thing. I don't know if that would ever happen. I just want to be very clear with all of you. I don't expect to reach the goal. But people have asked me to set this up. And so I finally did, because I had a number. And if you want to donate to this, the link is in the description. YouTube takes 30% of donations. GoFundMe, I think, takes 2%. So the idea isn't hey, you need to get me to the school. The idea is if you're already planning on donating for the cause, this is a better option. Your money goes farther, if that makes sense. Once again, nope, hit the wrong button again. This is for emphasis, so I'm zoomed in. You do not have to do this. This is purely voluntary. Your support, just being here, saying hi, doing whatever, is help enough. But if that's not enough for you, there are other options. I don't like doing it. I don't. That's why this is super awkward. But it exists now because some people have requested it, and some people have been, everyone so far who has interacted with that link has been incredibly generous, and I thank you all so very much. But with that ramble out of the so last summer says, here comes Chili's blue bacon is a grifter streams. Well, I mean, he can feel free to say it because in this great country, people are allowed to have an opinion. Something that I think he forgot when he filed his lawsuit. But personal opinion. One could certainly flip that back and go, but you're raising money all the time. Obviously, logic doesn't really apply to that, and I'm not planning on defending myself against it because it's absurd. But yes, I can see where you're coming from with that. Taco, no, I'm not even going to read it. No. Mav, you've done enough, sir. But I appreciate it. I know that I'm not going to be able to stop you because you do you. But it's fine. Combi says, how was your active duty? Well, it wasn't technically active duty. It was more like activated duty. Because active duty is federal. This is just National Guard duty for a while. He ended up doing it for 16 days, I think. It was a whole thing because we're in the band. Our AT, our annual training, is structured or can be structured slightly differently. So we did our 2-day training and then our 14-day training back to back, which is actually kind of nice. M-Day, is that? Oh, there's a term for it. I don't know because I don't pay attention to that sort of thing, unfortunately. Duty. That's right. Anyway, let's look at some Moorish Americans ready to go to Ukraine. They're proud. I would, if there was an option to volunteer to support that. I mean, they're not putting boots in the ground. Not American boots. Not officially. Not yet. There's that thing that came out with the presidential executive order or whatever, Operation something or other. They've been doing that for years. That's nothing new. People are making a big deal out of it. It's been happening since 2014, I believe. It's literally just, hey, can we get some more people out here? And from what I understand, from what I've seen, the people they're probably requesting are the ones who are more involved in logistics of moving stuff around. Because active duty doesn't deal with that as much as some National Guard units do or some reserve units do. I don't know the details, but it makes sense to me. And I know enough about stuff that happens in Europe to know that this isn't the getting people ready to invade or anything. It's, I believe, more like logistical preparedness. And I am not the person for that. I do not have the training. I could be the person for that. If you train me up, I don't have that training. So, not specifically. But yeah, no, I would love to go to Europe and assist with some of the stuff happening out there. I love a good adventure as much as the next person. But they go someplace cool. I know they're all very warm. So during the AT, it was just in Washington State. It was Spokane. We were in Spokane. If you were in, some of you were in the Spokane area. You could have seen us. You could have been there. Don't know if you were. I was going to advertise it, but then I thought, no, that would be bad OPSEC, and I'm the OPSEC manager. So I did not do that. Longview was really nice. Never been to Longview. Loved it. There's somewhere up north we went. There was a raspberry festival. Lacey. Went to Lacey. Some other stuff. But yeah, I was just within the state. There's some good stuff. Washington State's very beautiful. Not all of it, but a lot of it. McAddict said, sorry. McAddict says, sign us up. We're ready to test the Geneva Convention again. McAddict, are you Canadian? I've forgotten. You're Canadian, right? I hear testing Geneva Convention, I think Canadian. Cluster 2 was for Ukraine. That's right. Just... You could have stalked me, Kathy. You could have... That's... It's a fire. Oh, Longview is a fire right now. That's unfortunate. Not the strawberry one, the raspberry one. Raspberry Festival up north. Can't for life of me remember it. We should get into the video, probably. Because we are... Anyway, all right. There's a YouTube short. It's a YouTube short. We're going to check it. Wait, Jeff Hart's has a question. Jeff Hart's, what is your opinion on raising armed cybernetic ducklings intent on attacking Chile? And which countries haven't yet enacted anti-weaponized ducklings? I don't know that any countries have considered weaponizing ducklings. Now, you could take, well, it's cybernetic, so I'm not sure how that would work. Because you could use animals for a, what am I thinking? Like biological warfare. But I'm pretty sure that's not allowed. But cybernetic. First of all, no, we cannot raise cybernetic ducklings in general, I think. And animal cruelty, probably. And also, raising them for the purpose of attacking an individual would likely be very, very criminal in the realm of assault. So we can't do that. Definitely not. I don't know that countries have enacted anti-weaponized ducklings. I'm not sure what that even means, technically. Anti-weaponized ducklings? Isn't that just normal ducklings? But no, anti would be specifically designed to not be weaponized, as opposed to just not being weaponized in general? Or just ducklings that counter the weaponized ducklings? But if the ones that are designed to counter the weaponized ducklings aren't weaponized themselves, how are they... I don't know that your question makes that much sense. Linden, that's the one, Linden. Quack, quack, nom, nom. Australia's outlawed weaponizing waterfowl. Well, it's okay. Australia has waterfowl that could be weaponized. Let's face it. It's Australia. Anyway, let's actually get into this. Whew. Okay. Has ever war crime the first time? That's right. Okay, McAg says I am. Canada. That's ha ha. Nope. Misses again. Ha ha. Shuffling this over. Feeding the wrong places. Fine. All right. We're going to watch a YouTube short. I haven't seen it, but there's probably going to be a lot of stopping and starting and me trying to remember things. So we're going to get our hold music ready as I work my way through it.
Right? Therefore, the Spanish people today are being treated the way that they're treating.
Hold on. Let me reset it.
Remember, anything that says Spanish came from Moorish.
No. Also, does this slide over? Cool. All right, so Spanish comes from Moorish. I don't believe that's true. All right. History lesson, if I remember it. So, Moorish Americans, there's the Moorish Science Center of America, which is not the same as the Moorish Americans we're talking about right now. So you have Spain. Spain came from... Spanish is a Romance language, so presumably came from Rome, or Roman, or Latin, whatever. The Moorish Americans based their whole thing off of... ooh, it's on the tip of my tongue. I can't think of it. Someone in chat's going to get it before I do. Oh, it's a Muslim country now. It did not used to be. Help me out, chat. We're doing some Googling. Morocco. All right. Chat might have gotten there. I haven't seen it. All right, came from Morocco. Now, Morocco... yeah, there was a bit of fighting between Spain and Morocco and the Spanish and the Moroccans. Now, the Moroccans came from Africa, I believe. I want to say there's some Phoenician stuff going on there. So, yeah, there's a little bit of back and forth between the Spanish and the Moroccans because the Arab Empire invaded that part of Spain and then took it over and became Morocco. I could be wrong about that. We could... Well, chat may have gotten it first, but there's a delay. History of Morocco. Phoenicians colonizing the Moroccan coast. All right, I got the Phoenician right. That's fantastic. If we do a little... despite having power, 11th century, they're able to gain power in several cities in northern Morocco and southern Spain. All right, so some fighting between the Spanish. Vikings went back to Spain, continued up the east coast. Yup. With Spain to pursue studies. Dispatched a great part of it in Spain. And, yeah, so... After riding the president of Morocco, at the time I was going to do that in central Spain. Yeah, so quick skimming of Wikipedia says, yeah, Spain and the Moroccan Empire, two different things, but they fought over the same territory quite a bit. So yeah, when you see Spain or Spanish, that does not mean Moroccan. It does not mean Moorish. It does not mean that. That is false. Glad we were able to do that after 3 seconds of this video.
Right? Therefore, the Spanish people today are being treated the way that they're treated because they're really Moriscos.
I don't know at all what that means. I don't know what a Morisco is. We can do more Googling. Don't mind if we do. What does it? It's seafood. I guess. Yeah, that's just Spanish for seafood. They're being treated like seafood. I don't know. I don't know what this guy is saying. It doesn't make sense to me. It makes sense to you. Let me know. Not Venetians, Phoenicians with a Phoenicians. I think I have that right. I might have that wrong. It's fine. So, Strait of Gibraltar. That sounds right. That does sound right. Now, where was I? Oh, yeah. They're being treated some way. The Spanish are being treated the way they're treated because of reasons. Don't know what he's talking about with Morisco.
They're really the Spanish that helped dispossess everybody else.
Because we're the only people that historically ever allowed them to exist in their own pogrom so long as they pay.
All right. Well, I don't think the guy who pronounces program as pogrom is necessarily... should be your only source. I'm not saying he's wrong. I'm just saying that you might want to bring in another source because some people will be unconvinced. Yeah, there's a lot going on there. Just because a guy says a thing, and this applies to me too, just because a guy says a thing does not mean it's true, even if you agree with it.
Paid us our tribute, and they didn't perpetuate all of that stuff on us, and they didn't until we fell to the manipulation of the Spanish that they helped manipulate, and then eventually forced all of them into servitude. Because after Isabella and them sold us out, Isabella wound up dead in 1506.
Who's Isabella?
Christopher Colon wound up dead in 1506. Caesar Borgia, who...
I'm sorry, Christopher Colon? We're typing Christopher Colon, 1506. Yeah, I believe he means Christopher Columbus, who died in 1506. Just a guess. Caesar Borgia?
Who had the initial circular treaties of the old empire and the relationship between the so-called American Indians and the Moors of the empire, how they were related through the treaties and all of that. They killed him and they used his image to set up the so-called Jesus Christ syndrome that everybody's functioning on.
Well, so Jesus Christ religiously was very popular even before the United States existed, or there was contact between the Europeans and the Native Americans. Well, maybe with the exception of the Vikings. That's its own thing.
They got rid of everything.
Remember.
Yeah, so none of that made sense. The guy... Oh, boy. Yeah. The comprehensible stuff didn't know what it related to. It was as usual, just a shotgun blast of noise that you're supposed to sort of extrapolate your own opinions from. None of that appeared to be a factual statement of anything. And, great. All right, I feel like I've seen that guy before. I don't think I have it here. There is a video. Moorish man schools judge in court on his rights, indigenous rights, from Free Latvia. I feel like we should check that out, see what they have to say in court. And it's going to be a lot of stopping and starting. We're just going to have fun with this one.
And Cheyenne M. Pushamurel, would you state your name for the record,
Yeah,
please?
scooch this on over
Your
here.
attribute, please.
Cheyenne Matilda Cushman L. on behalf of the Marrakesh Empire Aboriginal Laws.
Wait, hold on. Huh?
L. on behalf of the Marrakesh Empire Aboriginal Laws.
America's Empire Aborigines. I don't know. It doesn't matter because it's probably not real. I mean, it might be. It could be like a business name, I guess, technically. Now, why does this? And then I comment, Cyan Rose says, no, Christopher Columbus was actually Greek. He was come from a Greek island. Now, I remember that topic being hotly debated. Like, there's like at least two countries claim him, and like nobody actually knows. Oh, I see. It's in reference to him being Italian. Because I remember hearing he was not Dutch. I don't know. Regardless, then get that Christopher Cologne. It's not Christopher Columbus. And I'm just guessing that he means Christopher Columbus. Anyway, let's keep watching this.
All right. I want to ask you a couple of questions, please. The first question I want to ask you is, are you employed?
Objection, man. This hearing is supposed to be about jurisdiction.
Well, you want it to be about jurisdiction, but there may be a concern. Okay, we're gonna throw out some guesses. By guesses I mean a guess. My thought is this delay's looking at whatever he is submitting, going, yeah, he needs a public defender, and if he has an income, well, technically, if he doesn't have an income, he might qualify for it for free. So that would be the reason the question is probably being asked. That's my guess, though.
This court has no jurisdiction. The court has no jurisdiction to determine its own jurisdiction
Grounds.
for a basic issue in any case before a tribunal.
Well, if I have no jurisdiction to determine my own jurisdiction, how are you going to get that issue resolved?
Listen, this case
Love it.
in this courtroom is a culpable, incompetent court of jurisdiction. You can't, according to federal case law, you can't set another hearing to reach and determine your own jurisdiction. As I've stated for the record, plenty.
Well, okay, so he's filed a motion to hear jurisdiction, and he's saying the court can't hear jurisdiction. I'm going to agree with the judge on this one. Then what was the point? What's he expecting to get out of it? If it can't happen, why has he asked for it? That's so weird. And also, the court isn't the one that determines its own jurisdiction. They can state it. But like courts aren't just like appearing out of nowhere and saying, we're a court now. There's some work that goes into that. I think I've never established a court. So maybe I'm wrong.
Times I'm only having threat, duress, and coercion, and because the prosecution falsely holds my property, and I'm here to clarify that matter.
Also, let me know if the audio needs fixing.
Threat, duress, and coercion. It is completely against federal case law. It has power to act, and a court must have the authority to decide that question in the first instance. That's Rescue Army versus Municipal Court of Los Angeles. A departure by a court from the recognized and established requirements of law, however close apparent adherence to mere form and method of procedure, which has the effect of depriving one of a constitutional right, is in excess of jurisdiction.
Yeah, please interrupt him.
Flag right behind you, ma'am.
May I interrupt you for a moment,
You may
please?
not, ma'am.
Then
Pretty sure she
would you-
can.
When you're done speaking, would you let me know so that I can ask a question?
I'm not obligated to answer any questions, so I have no intentions of answering any question.
Well, I'll
other than
ask it
stating for the
anyway,
record
and then
that
I'll
This
ask it
guy.
anyway, and you can decide what you want to say.
I bet we're going to get some good faces out of him.
District Tribunal has no jurisdiction of the subject matter on which it
Yeah,
is
you
sued
said
to
that.
act. Its proceedings are absolutely void in the fullest sense of the term, Dillon versus Dillon. Courts enforcing mere statutes, as it is to my understanding that this is a statute, not a constitutional violation of law.
Statute is law. Well, hold on.
As
What?
it is to my understanding that this is a statute, not a constitutional violation of law. In fact, one of the hearings I had with you, you said people are not charged with constitutional violations.
No, that's correct. The Constitution says basically how the government can do things. And then federally, Congress will make federal laws, and the states get to make laws that, per the 10th Amendment, that they aren't restricted from making. And then you have state statutes, and then in state constitutions, you'll probably have something that says ordinances can be a thing for smaller jurisdictions than state. So, yeah, you're not being charged. Like, if you violate a constitutional thing, there's a statute that you're hit with, not like 10th Amendment. Blah. There's a statute that references, as if that makes sense. Does that make sense? That makes sense. So he's saying the court cannot deviate from, or cannot have a departure from normal whatever in a manner that will deprive someone of the constitutional guarantee or constitutional rights, if I remember that correctly. Then he's saying that he's not being charged with the constitutional well, then that shouldn't matter, right? Like, that doesn't, then how do those, I don't know. It's a whole thing.
I don't understand how you could be enforcing.
Beetle Jesse. Are Moors and Sassy the same? No, technically. So their arguments, they share a lot of arguments, but the reason they believe the arguments is different. Their foundation is different, but the arguments tend to be very, very similar. However, Moorish Americans do have arguments that are specific to Moorish Americans that you don't find in sovereign citizen stuff. And I presume similar arguments, they're like sovereign citizens have arguments that Moorish Americans don't use. Then you have freedom on the land, which is its whole thing, and they have a lot of similar arguments, but there are some that are unique to them. And then you have, there's that new one that Teen Skeptic loves. I forget. State nationals. They have their own unique arguments, but they all sort of pull from the same well. I generally use the umbrella term sovereign citizen for all of them, but Moorish Americans technically are distinct in a small way, technically. But I would consider them to fall under the umbrella term, if that makes sense.
You have the Constitution, the U.S. flag behind you, as if you hadn't taken an oath to uphold the Constitution. Courts enforcing their statutes do not act judicially,
but
merely ministerially. Thus,
what? No, what? The whole court procedure is a judicial procedure. They're part of the judicial branch of the government. It is judicial.
No judicial immunity, and unlike courts of law, do not obtain jurisdiction by service of process, nor even arrest and compelled appearance. Boswell versus Otis.
Okay, yeah, so, okay, let's use an example. What he's talking about, courts don't have jurisdiction just because they serve process. This is true. They have jurisdiction for other reasons. The process of serving is just part of the process. For example, when Mr. DeCastro served me, I could have fought jurisdiction. I decided not to because he was also making threats that, like, if I can't serve you here, I'll serve you there. I'm like, all right, well, I'll just get it over with. Although he might still try to serve me after his lawsuit falls through in California. So he sued me in California. I had a great argument as to why jurisdiction wouldn't apply, but I also wanted to get into that lawsuit for specific reasons. We don't need to go into them, but I could have fought it. I knew I could have fought it. I decided not to. Him serving me does not create the jurisdiction. A legitimate claim regarding something that would have affected him in California may create jurisdiction. But the service, no. Not just I can't serve someone in Timbuktu. Is Timbuktu still around? I can't, in England, let's say if someone's in London, we'll go there. If someone's in London and I serve them paperwork, it doesn't mean that an American court will just have jurisdiction because they've been served, if that makes sense. Moving on. I think that's where he's getting confused.
I've been here 3 or 4 times on the threat, arrest, or coercion. Prosecution doesn't even have folders in front of him. He has no objections. He has nothing to say. He cannot prove jurisdiction. This court should have been dismissed this case.
I bet he can prove jurisdiction.
Competent jurisdiction. The fact that petitioner was released on a promise to appear before a magistrate for an arraignment, that fact is circumstance to be considered in determining whether the first instance there was a probable cause for the arrest. Monroe versus Popper.
I don't think
There's
that's...
no discretion to ignore the lack of jurisdiction. Court must prove on all the record, all jurisdictions
sir,
related to
now,
the
sir, hold on.
asserted. A universal principle,
I'll let you go,
as
it's
old
fine.
as the law, is that proceedings of a court without jurisdiction are a nullity and its judgment therein without effect either on person or property. This case has already been put before the federal court, and you will be receiving a notice of removal.
And then someone will laugh at it and probably throw it in the trash.
Very shortly. This court has no jurisdiction.
This guy?
Prosecution can't prove jurisdiction. This case shall be dismissed, and it will.
Did you file a notice of removal with the federal court?
Yes, you will be receiving it shortly.
Gosh, she's so reasonable.
When I receive it, I will rule on it. This is my question to you, however.
Oh, I love it. She's so nice.
Are you employed?
I'm not employed. I'm not employed with any
Shocking.
Corporations incorporated with the state of New Jersey.
Are you employed with any corporation that's incorporated outside of the state of New
Objection.
Jersey?
I'm not here to answer questions about my employment.
You kind of are.
The last time I was made aware of this was supposed to be about whether this court has jurisdiction, and clearly it doesn't. A question about employment has nothing to do with whether this court has jurisdiction. So
No,
I'm
but
not
it
obligated to answer
it
those
might be
questions.
relevant to whether or not you get yourself a public defender, because you probably want one. Well, you don't want one, because you will probably think that by accepting a public defender, you have accepted the jurisdiction. I want to say no. I'm pretty sure that's not how that works. But sovereign citizens will think so, because they are, many of them, very unaware of how law works. But, yeah, no, it would be relevant to that.
Questions. No, I shall not be answering any more of those questions that are not pertaining to jurisdictional facts.
Well, this is my question to you. I asked it before. If your position is that this court has no jurisdiction to determine its own jurisdiction.
Objection, man. That is not my ruling. That is not my holding.
No. You haven't ruled, or you can't rule or have a whole. You're not that. You're not the judge. She's repeating what you said. She's summarizing it for you. She's not going to say all that 5 minutes of nonsense where you just repeated yourself a bunch of times. Let's listen to her say it again.
If your position is that this court has no jurisdiction to determine its own jurisdiction.
Yeah, that's just, she's saying that that's his position. That's it.
Objection, man. That is not my ruling. That is not my holding. I've given you the federal case law regarding such. Maybe you can take some time out that you need to do to recheck that, but that's what the case law says. It's not what I said.
I don't think you know what the case law says. I think you, like many sovereign citizen Moorish Americans, and yeah, no, it's good. It's a good question whether or not Moorish American sovereign citizens are the same, because I'm going to use sovereign citizen as a blanket term here. Sovereign citizens love to cherry pick, so I assume that's what he's done.
Well, I do have jurisdiction over you. Number one, you're here in my courtroom.
Objection,
Number
man.
two,
You do not have jurisdiction over me. I'm here by way of threat, duress, and coercion. The
Oh,
federal case
this
law
guy.
stipulates
This guy's starting to have
already
opinions
that
on this.
compels, appearance and arrest doesn't
Yes!
give, a minister acting ministerially and not judicially enforcing their statute's jurisdiction. That's incorrect and false. You do not have jurisdiction because I'm here. You've told me before when I was here that you would lock me up if I didn't come, which was threat, duress, and coercion.
Well,
I
technically,
think
yeah.
that you misstate what I told you.
Objection, ma'am. I have not misstated. I have the videos. I have it on repeat 24/7. I've seen you say.
I doubt
I
that.
don't recall that I said I would lock you up.
Well, objection, ma'am. That's on the record.
Well, you can object all that you want.
Yeah, I bet she said a bench warrant will be issued. Now, you could extrapolate he will be arrested and put in jail from that. I doubt she used those exact words, though. Anyway.
Sir. And I will continue to have a difference of opinion about that.
She's so nice.
All right. Well, we'll continue with today's proceedings then. And I certainly appreciate
5 minutes
the
out of
courtesy
11.
you extend to me. All right, Mr. Walker, I know that you're here. You wish to be heard, sir?
Your Honor, I have Kevin Walker appearing on behalf of the office.
Ah, it was the guy on the right.
We did receive after the last hearing a court order directing the Office of the Public Defender to represent this defendant. I did file a motion for reconsideration, noting that there has been no indigency determination, which is an essential component of
All right, so it sounds like he got a public defender. Maybe maybe it's relevant. Maybe it's not. The employment thing.
or appointment. So I would ask respectfully that an indigency determination be made at this time and absent that earlier order directing that to represent this defendant be vacated.
All right, thank you. Do you wish to be heard on the issue, Mr. Luciano?
I don't, Judge.
All right. I have inquired of Cheyenne Mutada Kushamurel concerning his employment. He tells me he is not employed in the state of New Jersey
Who is the guy in the back? That's a great question. No idea.
by any corporation, and therefore I determine that he does not have the present ability to pay for counsel to proceed in this matter.
Okay, I was right the entire time. Wow, we're good. We're great. All right. Okay. Moving on. I just want to soak that in. Sometimes I know things. Sometimes.
Objection, ma'am. I don't know this gentleman. I haven't made any contracts with the public defender's office. I don't know what that was an attempt to do, but he does not have the authority.
Probably
to speak
attempt
for
to
me.
help you.
So I would appreciate it if any non-identified parties determining to act on my behalf first fill out an IRS Form 56 and notify the IRS that they're acting in some sort of fiduciary capacity.
IRS Form 56. Now the caption said 156. IRS Form 56. That is a form. All right, is 156 a thing? Transcript copy. Yeah. Form 56 is used to provide notification to the IRS of the creation or termination of fiduciary relationship. Oh, well, he's not correct about that, about the use in the court context, in this context, but he did get the form name right. Form 56 is the notice concerning fiduciary relationship. Interesting. Sorry, that's probably not going to help you there, but all right.
All right. Let's talk about the issue of, Mr. Walker, I want to talk about the issue of jurisdiction.
Me too.
One of the issues that has been raised in this case and has been raised over and over again that really needs to be determined before we can proceed with it is with regard to jurisdiction. I have received, it was filed with the court, it was received in my chambers on January 7th. I'm not exactly sure if it was filed downstairs on a different day. Something that has been entitled a non-negotiable affidavit of fact to dismiss with prejudice for lack of personam.
Wait. Hold on.
A non-negotiable.
Non-negotiable affidavit. I mean, it's an affidavit. You don't negotiate an affidavit. That's your statement. Right? Okay.
Affidavit of fact to dismiss with prejudice for lack of personam jurisdiction, lack of discovery, and lack of an injured party.
Okay. The injured party thing is going to be corpus delicti, conferences and stuff, where they say there's no injured party, there's no case. And then they forget that the state, for example, can be an injured party. They claim that it can't. They are wrong. Well, when they say injured party, they generally think a physical person has to be hurt. Although it varies from sovereign citizen to sovereign citizen. That is not necessarily correct. The lack of discovery, you're not in discovery. I don't know that makes sense. I assume they're not in discovery. They're at this point in the case, which seems pretty early on. The lack of jurisdiction, personam jurisdiction. Is personam jurisdiction a type of jurisdiction? Let's find out. And there's personal jurisdiction. Is personam just... Okay. Personam jurisdiction is just a fancier way of saying personal jurisdiction. So that would be the court's power over the person. Okay. So, like, one of those things he probably could discuss. I don't think he'd win, but he could make an attempt. The other two, probably not. I don't know what this case actually is, so I don't know if there is an injured party or not. But I assume he's doing the old corpus electi thing. I assume he doesn't know what corpus electi actually is.
Purports to raise the issue before the court of lack of jurisdiction with regard to Cheyenne Mutada Kushamurel. Despite what Cheyenne Mutada Kushmir L. says, this is not an application to the court to dismiss anything with anything. There are certain ways, as you are aware, Mr. Walker, to bring issues before the court.
I learned that, yeah.
What we need to do is have the issue brought before the court properly by way of a notice of motion. I don't even know if Mr. Luciano got a copy of this, but certainly...
And if you got a public defender, sorry, there we are. If you got a public defender, they can probably help you with that.
You know that any motion has to be served on the
Dying
public
slowly.
defender. How much time does your office need in order to do that? And did you receive a copy of this?
Judge, I have not received a copy of that, and before I address that issue, I would respectfully request that you inquire into this defendant's assets to see whether he has a present ability to retain private counsel.
He tells me he isn't employed by a
Objection.
corporation, so...
Objection. This is obscene.
Sir?
Is
This
it
is a
obscene?
conversation that I'm
But
having
why?
with Mr. Walker, not with you.
This is-
and
he
the
cannot
way you
speak
didn't
for
want
me,
me
man.
to interrupt you, I would like you not
He's
to interrupt
not
me
speaking
or Mr.
for you. He's saying, hey, wouldn't it be great to inquire into his assets to determine if he can hire his own counsel? He's not speaking for you. I presume? People.
Walker.
Objection. This man cannot speak for me, man. I haven't filled out any public defender's applications nor contracts to agree to that. You cannot force me against my consent to have someone who has, I have no formal contract or
I mean, I
agreement
believe
with
he's technically
to,
correct.
speak
The
on
best
my
kind of
behalf.
correct.
I'm a natural flesh and blood man. I don't
You are?
have to have, yes ma'am. I do not have to have an attorney at law, a colorable attorney at law, de facto attorney
It's
at
not.
law, propose or propose.
I assume colorable, he means someone acting outside the jurisdiction as if they are in their jurisdiction or outside of their permissible conduct. This is a very well-spoken Moorish American, I'll say that. Not a correct one, but very well-spoken.
Speak for me in any regards to these matters at hand.
Let's see. March
Oh.
23rd.
We got a buddy in the background. Is that another Fez right there?
March 23rd, sufficient time?
Hold on. Am I wrong? Is that another Fez? I feel like it might be. I think that is.
March 23rd, sufficient time, Mr. Walker?
I think so, Judge.
All right.
Oh, it's already covering this? Is he covering this right now? This is 4 years old. Is he stealing from me? Okay. All right, Artie. Taking my streaming time. It's fine. Pah. Now he's got something else going on. I mean, I bet he's covered this one. I bet he has. Shay.
This matter shall be and hereby is continued until Monday, March 23rd at 9 o'clock.
Objection, man.
Too bad.
The notice of removal is already in. You will be receiving it today.
Yeah, but it hasn't been approved or ruled on or denied or anything. Like, just because you submitted a notice doesn't mean much, really.
So,
If I receive it before March 23rd
Oops, sorry.
at 9 a.m., I am aware of my obligations when a matter has been removed to federal court. If for some reason the federal court does not accept it, or it's not properly filed, or there's something else.
I think I've read Meads versus Meads. That was like 30 pages of just beautiful, beautiful prose, I suppose. Prose. I think I've read Mead versus Mead. Mead versus Meads? Meads versus Mead? Meads versus Meads. Okay. Yes.
That's the
But he's doing this one right now. Because I checked, he wasn't doing this one right now. Unless I somehow missed it.
next day for this proceeding.
Hold on. Pulling it back up. Yeah, if we look at him right now, that not the same case. If we go back a little bit, hey Hardy, how's it going? Not the same case. What was that? Why is there a small child pointing at him? What was that? Where'd it go? Sovereign citizen bingo. Nope. These are all police shenanigans. Nope. 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 Not it. That's not it. Nope. Nope. That one's already. No, Are you sure? I'm not sure he's on the exact same one as me.
Objection,
Thank you
ma'am.
very
I will
much.
not be participating in any more of these proceedings.
Well, sounds like he's getting arrested then.
Do what you want.
I'm sorry, and I can do that.
This is the only notice.
Do what you want. I'm sorry, I'm not going to do that. You're not going to do what you want? What? Sorry, I'm looking for the sense. I don't think anyone made it. Ah, curses.
That I will give you of the proceeding on March 23rd at 9 o'clock in the morning. We don't send out letters reminding people. We'll simply expect that you will be here. Thank you very much.
But he will be contacted by my office, and we'll arrange an interview with him in the office, and he'll have to sign
Do
in.
you
All
have
right, same dude, like this exact case from 2009? Or like same dude later in life? Because it's, I mean, this is as recent as it is. We have well, I mean, because it might be the same guy. It's not the same case. He's not watching the same one.
his address? It's
The
on
only
here.
address I have is
The P.O. box is right here.
Objection. If you attempt to contact me and negotiate any contracts with me, you will be getting sued in federal court too as well, sir.
All right. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you'll be sued too. All right. Now, when people say okay, that doesn't mean like you should file frivolous lawsuits against them. Some people are confused because I was threatened with a lawsuit for a long time. I said, listen, just do it then. Now, what I meant was, if you think you have a legitimate case, stop threatening me with it. Let's get it over with. You can sue my LLC if you're having trouble figuring out who I am as an individual, because my publications are through my LLC. The person decided not to do that, and people seem to be confused about what I was saying because they're not taking the full context. Maybe I should have been more clear. I didn't think I would have had to explain not to commit crimes. Well, yeah, harassment. That'd be harassment, frivolous lawsuits. There's a protection order, et cetera, et cetera. But here we are. I still have to explain to people when they go, but you asked to be sued. No, I said if you think, essentially, maybe not in these exact words, but the context I felt was pretty clear. If you believe you have a legitimate case against me, if you believe I've legitimately harmed you in an actionable way, then file. And then he filed in California. I was like, Washington, dude, that's the jurisdiction. But all right, cool, fine, whatever. So, I don't know. I feel like to the people in here it makes sense. But, yeah. Go U.S. Women's Soccer. That's right. He already watched the one you were watching. It didn't look like he watched it today. It might have been a different day. Now, that's that one done. Yeah, I didn't see him schooling anybody. He said a bunch of nonsense, and the judge is like, okay, if you don't want to play the game will still be played without you. I mean, there will be consequences, but it will continue. Now, I am told that Van Balen had a good one 7 hours ago. Oh, this isn't even Moorish American. This is probably Freeman on the Land. But it says, when citing U.S. laws, in Canada goes horribly wrong, leading to a pair of silver bracelets. I believe I already did cover this one today. I think I saw it when I was scrolling through. And it's from 7 hours ago. You know that I love stealing from Van Balen to make into educational protected content under fair use and all that. And Van Balen doesn't seem to have a problem with it. We are, as far as I know, on good terms. He was one of the first channels that introduced me to sovereign citizens. So, as always, Van Balen. Also, go check out Van Balen. Van Balen's great. If you want it to stop, I will stop using the videos that you have acquired. I'll just go to Reddit. Which I don't know where people get the original ones from. Moving on.
Your license, registration, and insurance for the vehicle.
No, not going to happen.
Yeah, see, if you are... Okay, if there's a lawful traffic stop, you are required within the United States and all 50 states to provide your driver's license, vehicle registration, and proof of insurance. Unless I'm mistaken. And there are some weird shenanigans where that doesn't apply, but this probably isn't one of them.
It is going to happen. Okay.
Oh, but also this is Canada, so disregard. When I say things, we can just assume that it's the American version. Canada has very similar stuff, but it's not always the same. So, proceed with my information with caution.
You tell yourself that.
Okay, well, you're under arrest for obstruction.
Nope, get up.
Yay! I'm going to keep forgetting this isn't America.
Welcome back to the Van Balian channel, guys. Today we head to Canada for an encounter between Chestermere Police and the guy who has been watching far too many First Amendment auditor videos from the United States. Yes, he tries to cite US law and the Constitution when confronted by the police for suspicious behavior.
Yeah, so that's not going to work because Canada doesn't use the US Constitution. Weird.
And it goes about as well as the time. This guy tried to cite the Uniform Commercial Code in the UK. Right, let's get into the video.
No. Oh, no. Oh, Lord, he coming.
Hi there, how are you today?
So nice. Oh, Canadians, so friendly. Except for in war, when you're busy committing war crimes.
We're gonna call about you.
Me? For
Yeah,
what?
because you're videotaping people leaving the parking lot, so they think it's suspicious.
Okay. Now, in America, if you're in a private parking lot and you're filming people leaving a place, you could be trespassed. It's definitely grounds for police, and as someone who's a private investigator who's done a lot of surveillance, yeah, police have gotten called on me, as in they come and they check on me and make sure I'm not doing anything weird. Now, having a license, being a private investigator, is a very good defense against stalking, which is one of the reasons why you get that license and you have it all squared away. But it's certainly something that police can and do get called about, and then they go and check it out. Now, I don't know how Canada works with filming people who are in public. In the United States, generally, there are exceptions. You are allowed to do it. However, they don't have to allow him to be on the property if it is, in fact, private property. In the United States. Canada, don't know.
Oh, my gosh. That's
Do you have your license, registration, insurance for this vehicle, sir?
Sorry, have I committed a crime?
Yep.
I've committed a crime?
Yep.
And what crime would that be?
You're being suspicious, so we're
Is
investigating
that a felony or a misdemeanor?
Ooh, okay. Now, again, this is Canada, so I don't know. Being suspicious in the United States, at least, is not a crime. If I were to be involved in this in America, I'm going to be saying that a lot. I would say that's what have I committed a crime? That's what we're investigating. We have right now is reasonable suspicion that you might be engaged in a crime. They say, what crime? I say, well, I don't know yet. That's why I'm investigating. But there are a few that come to mind. And maybe I'd tell them, maybe I wouldn't, depending on the situation. But that could include stalking. That could include harassment. I know I've gotten police calling me for someone thinking I was stalking them, which is not the case. I was hired lawfully to observe them as they moved around because reasons, job, can't talk. Well, I could probably talk about it. I won't. Just in case I'm not supposed to. Pretty sure I'm not supposed to. I haven't said too much yet. I'll stop there. But stalking is a great one. Filming people doing that. And maybe trespassing depending on the information they'd received. Maybe harassment depending on the information they'd received. So there's definitely enough for reasonable suspicion for detention. In America.
Misdemeanor.
It's neither of those two things,
What's
because
your
this
name
is
and
the
badge
U.S.
number?
62260, Constable Smith.
Now
This is the
here's
US,
the
it's
first
already on it.
indication to show he's been watching too many American auditor videos. Canada does not use the term felonies and misdemeanors. They use indictable, hybrid, summary and super summary.
I did not know
Anyway, he's going to be finding that out the hard way pretty soon.
Okay, sweetheart. And what would you like today, cupcake?
I wouldn't recommend doing this. In America, you can. It just doesn't seem like the best idea. Now, give me a second. I want to check if you're allowed to film people in Canada. Can I film people in public in Canada? Let me emphasize Canada. Eh? Can I film people in public in Canada? That's Cora. I don't know if... All right, legal line. secretly, publicly, clear away law. Is it legal? Is it illegal to take photos of people in Canada? All right. You're perfectly allowed to take someone's picture if both of you are in a public space. Let's say you're in a subway or a park and see something that catches your eye. Whether you're using a phone camera or an actual digital camera, you're free to take photos as you wish because you're in a public space. All right. When does it become illegal? Not if they have an expectation of privacy. Clothing. All right, so it seems to be very much the same or similar to the United States. So, Canada. Canada. All right. Stunting is a good one. I remember looking into stunting. Okay. Now, so I would argue they have reasonable suspicion. They do not have probable cause. Meaning that a crime has not yet occurred, but it's not unreasonable to suspect one may be occurring for reasons we've already discussed. In some parts of the United States, and I assume Canada is similar, you have to provide identification under a reasonable suspicion detention. In other parts of the United States, you only have to do that if you are being detained or arrested pursuant to probable cause. Meaning that, that is a much higher standard. That's like arrestable stuff. So, reasonable suspicion, you can be detained temporarily for the amount of time it takes to reasonably investigate. Probable cause is there's enough to arrest the person or issue a ticket or citation, etc. So depending on where you are in the United States, some places you only need reasonable suspicion before you have to give police your identification. Some places it is probable cause. We are going to assume for this one that it's just reasonable suspicion because I don't know. I don't have reason to believe otherwise at this time. It may... Oh boy. All right. Now let me check stunting again. Canada stunting. Isn't that just... That's while driving, right? It's like road rage, isn't that? Sort of?
Jeff Hartz became a member.
I forgot about that. I got very confused. Anyway, Jeff Hartz, thanks for being a member, by the way, says, where's your talk to go with that accent? Canadian blue back bay? I don't know what half of what you said meant, so I'm just going to say yes. What are these words you're saying? Oh, the hat. Yes. Hey, look, man, it's too warm out here up in the great white Washington, eh? Yeah. Wearing leading zip boating technology. All right, you crazies. Let's keep going.
Your license, registration, and insurance for the vehicle.
All right, now, okay. Oh, I've lost topic and starting. So we've already thought maybe he's allowed to demand ID based on, like, United States comparisons. But in the United States, you probably can ask for more than that because this is not a traffic infraction. So asking for registration and insurance is not something that I believe would be appropriate. However, it's Canada, so maybe it is. However, in the United States, if you're parked in a vehicle and the offense isn't related to driving, which filming people probably wouldn't be, I would argue that, and there are exceptions, but I would argue that almost always you do not have to provide registration and proof of insurance unless there are other factors in play, which I have not seen yet. So that seems odd. I would be willing to accept ID. Maybe Canada requires it because a vehicle is involved in any way. I don't know. I never went through a Canadian academy.
No, not gonna happen.
It is going to happen.
Okay. You tell yourself that. You can leave me alone, man. I'm here absolutely doing nothing wrong.
You've been called in as a suspicious person, so
I haven't. Have I committed any crime?
I don't know.
Well, you don't. Well, when you figure that out, you let me know. Okay.
D-Man, maybe a little less of the politics talk. Just appreciate it. Thank you.
License, registration, insurance, please.
Absolutely not.
So the problem is now you've been called in, so we have to do an investigation.
Yeah, you do your investigation, sir. I'm not stopping you from that. You can do that. What's your name and badge number?
Constable Neufeld.
All right. D-Man, I assume when you say China, you mean Canada. Once again, because there's a delay, I'll be lenient. Let's tone it down a little bit. This is not the place. This is not the place to be doing all of that. I appreciate you exercising your free speech and all that, but I am not the government. And if I feel the need to put a stop to it because it's interrupting things, I'm afraid I'll have to. Just a friendly, just a heads up. All right.
Regimental number 6.
All right. So as your officer just explained, he said because I'm filming, which is my constitutional Canadian Charter of Rights, constitutional, I'm engaged in a constitutional activity. He cannot deem this a crime. If he wants to take it there and escalate it, we absolutely can. But this little cupcake right here is gonna do shit.
Dude, come on, the only person escalating things here is you, by misunderstanding the law and confusing the Charter of Rights and Freedoms with the US Constitution. This cop is simply doing his job by asking you for documentation you are legally required to produce. It's not his fault you've been watching too many American auditors. Oh, and by the way, drop the sweetheart and cupcake thing from your MO. It makes...
All right, I found a thing, folks. I found a thing. To stop by the police, you have rights. It's on... Educaloy, it's Quebec. It says if you're stopped by police without being detained or arrested, no. Sorry, wait. However, you do have to provide your identity to the police if you are driving a vehicle or are suspected, which would be reasonable suspicion, of having committed a crime. In these situations, the police must tell you why they want to know your identity. You must provide your name, address, and date of birth. All right, so it sounds like this is grounds to get his ID. The officer has asked for license, registration, proof of insurance. I would argue, not being an expert on Canadian law, the appropriate thing would have been, I need you to identify yourself. And then I need your birthday, I need your name, and what was the third one? I just want to make sure I get it right here. Address. Okay, that is the same then. I mean, you can ask for ID, and if you say, I don't have it, well, you're in a vehicle, so you should have it. So asking for ID would be appropriate. But if the officer wanted to be absolutely correct, according to what I've just found on the internet, which may or may not be true, I haven't, sourced it to the original statutes or anything per this location, which is Chestermere, I believe, it is at least possible that they can ask for ID. Registration, insurance, But the guy says he's not going to give any of it. Which, okay, fine. Not going to give insurance, registration, that might be okay. Not giving ID, that might not be okay. And so a blanket refusal of all three indicates that you are definitely refusing to provide one that you are probably required to provide, and that would be arrestable? It's convoluted and weird, I know. And I'm making it intentionally convoluted because I do not know how it actually is. I'm just sort of setting up to be like, maybe if, and then if this is there, and if this is correct, and then if we take this down and put it here, then it would be appropriate. Basically what I'm saying is, this officer might be correct. I think there are some things that are a little off, but not enough that it's going to kill this entire thing.
You look and sound like a complete moron. Not that you really needed any help in that department.
No. See,
I rolled down my window to talk to you to let you know that I mean no ill will or no harm. That's it. But you know what? If you can escalate it, then I'm not going to be fucking nice to you.
But he hasn't.
He just told me that I've committed a crime.
No, I don't.
This little pussy here just told me I committed a crime.
All right, well,
I didn't hear that one, but here,
listen. So I'm not going to escalate, but also let me escalate. Yeah, you're escalating, bud. Should the officer say you committed a crime? No, he should not have said that. He should have said you are suspected of committing a crime. But we don't need to go nuts.
Explain it to
You just touched my shit. Do it again.
I don't know if he was on private property. That's just me suspecting that he was.
Do it again and see what happens. Get the fucking head out of my car. Get out of my...
that sounds like it may have been assault. Hold on.
This little pussy here just told me I committed a crime.
I didn't hear that one, but here, can I try to explain it to you?
You just touched my shit. Do it again. Do it again and see what
Did
happens.
he just smack
hear
his
that one, but
own...
here, can I try to...
It looks like the officer may have had his hand resting on the vehicle. That can happen. You can say, please don't touch my vehicle. But, like, the officer, it's not illegal for him to be resting on it. If you're slapping his hand, and I don't know that's what was happening, we're going to slow this down real nice. We're just going to go right from yaw. And we wait for it.
This little pussy.
Here, can I try to explain it to you?
You just...
I mean, I don't know whose hand that was. I don't think it was...
Hear that one, but here, can I...
Wait. All right. This is making it very difficult. I want to see where the thumb is. And I am struggling to do so.
Hear that one.
What's the button on a keyboard to make it go frame by frame? Is it this? It's not that.
One, but here, can I...
I'm so sorry. Oh. Ah! Okay, can we see anything in the reflection of the glasses? No. Maybe if I put it into Photoshop, but like... Yeah. Yeah, we're not getting anything out of that. Enhance. All right. I don't know. I'm going to assume the drive did that. That would be a huge problem. What am I doing? No, I want speed. Speed is key. I'm speed. Ciao.
Try to explain it to you?
You just touched my shit. Do it again. Do it again and see what happens.
Yeah, because the officer's hand's there. It's up on the top.
Get the fucking head out of my car.
Yeah, that kind of looks like you're assaulting a police officer at that point. That's bad. Don't do that.
Get out of my car. Get out of my car. It's on video. It's on video. You put your hand in my car.
Step out of your vehicle.
I can't step out.
Okay, well, you're
Yeah, you're probably going to want to step out.
under arrest for obstruction.
Nope. Get out of here, man. Don't fucking touch me. Get the fuck out of here. I didn't commit no crime, pussy.
You are under arrest.
I don't
for
give a fuck.
obstruction.
You can't obstruct me. I didn't do nothing. Get the...
Yeah, no, you can obstruct an investigation based on reasonable suspicion, which is what it was. Now, the officer maybe didn't enunciate that as well as they could have, but you are in fact obstructing that. That is for sure.
Get the fuck out of here. You put your hand in my car without a fucking warrant, you fucking idiot.
You don't putting a hand on a window is not a search. You don't need a warrant for that. Again, that's American law. Canadian law, maybe you do. But in America, that is not a search. Resting a hand on a window is not a search. And so a warrant wouldn't be necessary.
You're
Fuck
under
you.
arrest.
So all he had to do was identify himself, and that probably would have been it. They would have all gone their separate ways, but he was determined to turn this into a circus where he had the part of the clown. Anyway, I guess he posted this video to TikTok in the hope that viewers would side with him. And a few did at first, not realising that this stop happened in Canada, where you cannot refuse to present your ID if you're operating a vehicle. It's like in the UK. Anyway, that didn't last for long, and they were all eventually drowned out by the wave of comments calling him out for his use of American laws. So I don't think we'll be seeing a part 2 anytime soon, but I will keep an eye on his channel just in case he is dumb enough to update us all or attempt this unique strategy again. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this short clip, then please leave me a like, share the video, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you also.
Yeah, so Alana, so it looks like he can film in public, but if he was filming on the property and it was private property and the owners hadn't given permission, it would probably be, I would argue, again, not Canadian, not knowing how it works, if it's anything like America, it wouldn't be illegal. It would just be like, hey, if you don't want him to do this, then you can trespass him from the property. He can still film, just not there. essentially. But you can absolutely detain someone while figuring out why they're filming. That is, under the right circumstances, that is absolutely appropriate. A lot of auditors don't realize this. They think, well, no, because there's no reason it could ever be criminal. It sure can. It sure can. So I would say I'm going to side with the officers on this one. I think there are a couple things that could be fixed, could be done better. But Canadian law versus American law, maybe they did everything perfectly. If this was an American officer, I would be able to say a stronger sort of thought on it. But Tones, thanks for being a member, by the way. It says Canada and UK law enforcement are not as soft as ours. They are 100% stop and ID, so obstruction charges likely. Yet it seems like their stop and ID stuff is a lot more universal. Whereas some places in the United States have it, some places don't. But we're also enormous, the United States. And, yeah, well, Canada's pretty big too. But a lot of it doesn't have people in it. Midwest. Well, either way. But yeah. There's that. That was a fun one. Thank you, Van Balian, for finding that. What else do I have? Moorish American. Oh, this is also Van Balian. I can't steal them all from Van Balian. This is Bama Mike. Bama Mike. It says, Moorish sovereign citizen police impersonator loses it when he gets arrested by the real police. Ooh, it is an hour long. Oh, boy, we're not gonna make it through an hour-long video of this. That's not gonna happen.
Tones overthinks it became a member.
There it is. Hi, Tones, thank you. Fridays with Frank. What the heck is a Fridays with Frank? We're about to find out. Stand by. Hey, forget about it. Fridays with Frank. Big Ultima energy? Is that, wait, that's Fridays with Frank. It's Pinal County Sheriff's Office. Oh, I can definitely use these. They're from.
We get 400.
Sure thing. All right, I have Pulpit of Misknowledge. That's got to be it, right? It's a little loud. All right, Pinal County Sheriff's Office, Arizona. Oh, good old Arizona. Traffic stop. Love it.
Oh
man, they got the equipment to do this. They got the cameras. Good for them.
415 of 26, 2016 eastbound.
Hello. Hey, lady. Lady.
Front window works better. There we go.
When people approach my front window, I usually leave the back one just to be like, no. You also, because they're usually my friends and they like to throw things in my front window. And so I like to keep them guessing. I got 7 windows, so where's the 7th one? I won't tell you. It's not where you think. No, that's obvious. That's, of course, a joke. But yes.
All right. Well, I'm Deputy. I don't need your back window down. I was trying to figure out why that one was going down. Well, I'm Deputy Slope. I work for the Pinal County Sheriff's Office Traffic Unit.
Pinal?
All right. May I see your driver's license, please?
Pinal.
All right.
Uh-oh. Yeah, no.
Any reason you're videoing me there?
Does that bother you?
Now here's the thing. I say, listen, if you've been pulled over, video away. I have a phone holder. I'm tilting that phone towards that window so I'm visible, the officer's visible, and I'm hitting record. They say, is there a reason? Is there a reason you're filming me? I think my response would be for my safety and yours. Mostly as a joke. I can get away with that. Why? Because I'm white. It's a little social commentary. We don't need to discuss it. Anyway, that's a rabbit hole we don't need to get into. So, I mean, and that might be a bad idea because they might be like, "What do you mean? Is it unsafe?" And you're like, "No, isn't that what you say with your recording? I was just making a little joke. We're having a good time here. We're all friends." Or I might just say, a better response technically would be, "In case I need it." And they say, "What would you need it for?" And you could say, "I don't answer questions." I would say, I'd prefer not to answer that question. Personally, although I don't know, because they might be like, well, okay, fine, step out of the car then, because now you're making me. This is weird. Oh, how would I do that? I haven't been pulled over in many years. Many years. It was on base. It was I had a Humvee. The trailer that I was towing, the cable disconnected to the trailer, so it wasn't signaling, and I got pulled over for that. They basically pulled up beside me and said, "Your trailer's unhooked, like your cable," and then we fixed it. And that was it. So it wasn't. I couldn't have filmed that regardless because it's on base. But yeah, just don't make it weird. I'm definitely making it weird. All right, why are you filming? Say to document the stop. Just say to document the stop. And they say, well, I'm filming. You go, great. You leave it at that. You don't have to say, then we're both doing it, or different angles, whatever. They say, but I'm filming too. Great. Boom. Can an officer ask about the filming? Sure. Can they stop you from filming? In most places, no. And in most situations, no. There are situations where, yes, they can stop you from doing it. There are places where, yes, they can stop you from doing it. We're not going to get into that. That gets weird and complicated.
Not at all. So this is a passport card.
It's a good response.
Do you have a driver's license?
What on earth just happened? Oh, I'm sorry.
Do you have a driver's license?
All right, so that's a passport card. Passport card is not a driver's license. Passport card does not mean you can drive a vehicle. It does not mean you're licensed to drive a vehicle. Glad we could figure that out. I assume all of you knew. Just wanted to say.
Why did you ask?
Why would I ask what?
About my recording.
Well, I do traffic stops for a living, and probably in the last 1,000 traffic stops I've done, I haven't had someone hold their phone up and video me. So it's
okay, yeah. Holding it up and filming like to the window, it would be weird for sure. I would not recommend that. You want your hands free? I love having a little phone holder. It's my advice. Keeps it nice and steady as well. Means that if things get weird, it will still be there, facing the direction you want it to face. But an officer can absolutely ask about it.
something out of the normal, and when something out of the normal happens, typically I address it.
Boy, it happens all the time.
Well, it doesn't happen to me. I don't know if you do traffic stops for a living, but I do traffic stops for a living, and this doesn't happen all the time. So you are incorrect. Well, you passed me at 15 miles an hour above the posted speed limit, 60 miles an hour.
That's a problem.
And a posted 45 as you weave through traffic, passing slower moving vehicles on both the left and the right.
Not many excuses there.
Okay, yeah, so perfect. See our registration paperwork, current proof of insurance, please.
Current proof of insurance. He fumbled it a little. Hey, it's an easy thing to fumble. It's a lot of words. License, registration, proof of insurance, military ID card if you have one. That's what we would say. But he's doing great so far. I love it.
Do I have to?
It's nice to have a good video, good audio.
I have to stop my recording.
If you would rather not, you don't have to.
Are you going to write me for it?
Absolutely, 100%.
Speeding, no good.
Yeah, I know I'm not going to give
this
any
route.
breaks because I'm recording you and this is...
Oh, no. I'm being a member of the traffic unit. It is my job to issue citations.
Everybody goes 60 down this road.
And
no, see, but he said this. I was excited. He said that. He said you were passing slower moving traffic in both lanes or multiple lanes. So everybody's not going 60 because you're weaving in and out through the slower traffic. So those people are going the correct speed. Now you can say, well, everyone's going this speed or more than, why do you pick me? Other people are doing it as well. You say, well, I had to pick somebody. It's unfortunate it was you. Right? But regardless of what they're doing, you're also doing the wrong thing legally. And that is. Now, if everyone's legitimately going 60, you could argue, and this is a court argument, you could argue in court, I felt it would have been unsafe to drive 15 miles an hour slower than the rest of traffic, regardless of the posted speed limit. And I think this officer would have, well, okay, maybe this is outside of maybe what you should argue, but you could say this officer is not slowing people down. This officer could have turned his lights on, and just been a presence. But instead, you know, he selected a person despite the fact that I thought it was unsafe not to. Yeah, that would be too far. Basically, the argument could be, not a lawyer, but it could be, everyone was going this speed. I was matching the flow of traffic, and I believed it would be unsafe to go the posted speed limit because of this. Now, for that argument to work, you basically have to be in the right lane already. You cannot be weaving in and out of traffic and going faster than everybody else. The argument will not hold up if you're doing that. So this isn't going to work for this dude.
I write everyone tickets. No, I write everyone tickets. It is literally my job to write tickets. It's all I do.
Everybody goes 60 and nobody ever gets pulled over for those.
Okay, I feel like that's a pretty gross generalization spoken from a pulpit.
I like this guy a lot.
Cops go 65 down there.
Well, we can.
All the time.
We can.
You can't either, not without your lights on.
That's actually not true. If I'm responding to a call for service, I need to get there in a timely manner.
You have to have your lights on.
That's not technically true. Generally, you would, but it is situational dependent. It's not technically true. It's usually true, I would say.
I feel like you think you know a lot more than you actually know.
I think I know more than you do, which is really disappointing.
And yet, you're the one speeding, bud. Like, I think I know more than you, which is disappointing. Like, based on what? You didn't even hand him the right card. This officer has said nothing incorrect so far. Anyway.
Because you're a police officer.
I'm actually a deputy sheriff. Those two are different.
They are different.
Really
Technically?
It's making me wait for a code.
Okay. In the meantime, if you could grab your registration paperwork for your most current registration year. All right. And that looks like it's good. Nissan Versa, last couple, 32, 40.
Careful with reading that
Perfect.
loud.
All right. Thanks, sir. That's it right there. Right
I think I know more than you do, and yet the officer can identify the paperwork before you can. It's fine. It's fine.
Perfect. Awesome. Still your current address on?
Yes.
Sure, appreciate that. Hang tight for me. Thank you. Wow.
Correct.
There's a lot of misinformation sitting in the driver's seat of that vehicle. And I don't know how to bridge that gap between like ignorance and knowledge, because I don't think that there's enough wood to build that bridge.
Wow, that's sass. Oh, you know how much I like sass.
Hey, sir.
Civilian?
Yes, it is.
In your car?
That is correct. Yes, sir.
What's he doing?
He's an employee of the sheriff's office.
And what's he doing?
He's videoing.
Why?
Yeah. He can video you.
Like, remember before you were videoing me and you were like, "Do you have a problem with this?" And I said, "No." It's because I'm always videoed.
Wait, why am I being videoed? I don't know. Why am I being videoed? Great. Moving on.
So have you had anything to drink? Have you had anything to drink today?
No.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure. May I have a? I don't know that. That's why I ask questions. My job to conduct a complete, thorough investigation.
Let's go.
May I have a contact phone number for you?
No. Let's go.
Okay, no problem.
I feel like you can refuse that.
All right. Well, all
I'm
the
not sure,
information
though.
that's up at the top here is yours. Your vehicle's information's here. Says today.
I'll sign it.
Okay, you don't have to sign anything. This because it's simply a civil traffic violation. There's no requirement for you to sign.
Oh.
So you were doing 60 and a 45. So the RMP that's on the citation stands for reasonable and prudent, and that's always what the posted speed limit is.
Okay,
Got
you
your
don't need to explain it to me.
Okay, but I explain it to everyone. I'd like you to have this information.
No, that's a fair point. The officer's correct here. Sorry, deputy. Excuse me, Frank. Sorry, deputy. I know officer's wrong. Deputy's correct. When they're like, you don't have to read it. No, you read it anyway. Because if they take it to court and they go, well, they didn't read it to me. And you go, well, you said I didn't have to. You're wrong. I mean, you might win that argument. You don't want to be in the position where you have to win that argument. So if there's something that has to be read, if someone's like, you don't have to read it to me, I always read it. I'm glad to see this deputy is doing the same thing. Like, I understand. I understand you might know it. You could probably recite it backwards. I can't do that, though, so I'm going to read it, and you don't have to listen, but it is going to come out of my mouth. I like it.
Before we part ways. Okay. If you don't want me to, I won't.
No, I don't want to.
Okay, within the pamphlet that I'm going to provide you here is your driver's license and registration and an exact carbon copy of the citation, which I explained to you. On the front of the pamphlet on the bottom is options 1, 2, and 3. Options 1, 2, and 3 are the 3 options that you have.
Understand.
Okay, I just want to make sure. Are there any questions I can answer for you? Any other additional information that you need?
Your name and badge number?
Yes, sir. On the bottom right-hand corner is my name and badge.
Oh, got him.
How did you clock?
Radar. Certified calibrated radar. It's a, no you may not, and it's only because it's mounted in my vehicle.
Yeah, so there are people who like to ask, well, can I see what you clocked me at? It's always like, no, it's on the ticket. I do like what he's saying, like, no, it's in my vehicle, so I can't just let you in my vehicle. That's correct. And we basically already have an admission where he says, well, everyone goes 60. It sounds like you're basically admitting that you were going 60. Like everyone else was. Also, I don't know if the camera would have been on for this. Either way. I don't know if the radar would have it recorded. I think some of them do. I don't know. I'm trained. I was trained up on them. It's been a long time. But yeah. I mean, this deputy's already probably said more than he actually technically needs to. So, like, good for him for giving more information about, like, you know, here's the stuff and here's the whatever and et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, if you're like, well, I want to see the radar, I don't know of anything that requires them to show it to you.
And I have a lot of sensitive stuff, both information on my computer and weapons and stuff in my vehicle.
Can I just look through the window at it?
No.
Would you like to?
Yes.
What?
Absolutely. Hop on out.
Oh my goodness, I love this. What the
All right, now be careful.
I gotta watch more of this guy.
That's obviously. No, come over this side. This side.
Yeah, there's
Let me put my
camera
window down
guys
for you.
over there.
So if you notice right there, your top speed is, after you passed me, was 60, and as I was catching up with you, I locked in the speed.
Yeah, you could have been anybody. I wasn't going 60.
Well,
But except you basically already admitted it when you said, but everybody goes 60. That's not like a full confession, but it's definitely not going to help you, bud. And you got more than he had to give you. Wow. You know what? You want to see it? Get on over there. I loved that. I'm going to watch more of this guy, that's for sure.
No, the radar says otherwise, sir. So, any other information I can provide for you?
Car's full of road. Road is full of cars.
That's
it
the
is.
one.
But you are the fastest car. Any other information I can provide? All right, appreciate you wearing your seatbelt. Make sure you drive safely today.
This guy's my favorite. All right, I like this guy a lot. Just, you can taste the sass. That's the best part of the job, is just very friendly. No, it's not the best part of the job. I'm kidding. I definitely didn't hate it, though. Basically, when his tone of voice changed, like, okay, well, thank you for wearing your seatbelt. That, just, it feels so good. It feels very good. Yes. Just handled very well. Very, very well. As far as the radar stuff goes, fun fact about radar, when we were certified, assuming this is the same, you have to be able to auditorily, either way, the radar emits a tone. We had to be able to pass a test where we could tell how fast something was going by the tone that was being emitted from the radar without seeing the number. We had to get it within, I think, 3 miles per hour in either direction. Was it 5 miles or 3? I want to say it was 3. And that's something you train on. And when you're learning how they work, you're not getting the wrong vehicles. Especially if that's the fastest vehicle. If it was a different vehicle going 60, that just means that his vehicle was going faster than that vehicle and was in excess of 60. So that argument won't work either. So with this guy essentially saying everyone goes 60, which is like basically a partial confession, sort of, not technically, but it definitely does not work for him. With him saying that could have been any vehicle, and with the deputy saying, but yours was the fastest. Well, if he wasn't going 60, then he was going above 60, because a vehicle was clocked at 60. And if that wasn't the fastest vehicle, but the subject here was in the fastest vehicle, that only makes it worse. So I also love that he's just like, yep, certified, tested, calibrated, etc., whatever. Love it, because that's the next question, generally. But yeah. That was, what channel was this? That was it Pinal? Pinal? Did you pronounce it Pinal? County Sheriff's Office? I liked it. I'm going to watch more of it. Not maybe now, but yeah, I'm definitely going to go through some of his videos. Tones Over Things, it says, I had a friend who used to work parking at Disneyland. Oh, boy, that must have been rough. And dealt with some pretty entitled people, and he would talk to them the nicest, but sassiest way possible. Kill them with kindness. Yes, that's exactly right. Now, there's a video a few months back when Frank gets called a road pirate. If you give me the title of that video in the comment section of this video after the stream is done, I can go check it out. But yes, Pinal. I forget how it's because I was saying penal, and we know that's not correct. Stand by, we're going to listen.
Front window works better. There we go. All right. Well, I'm Deputy. I don't need your back window down. I was trying to figure out why that one was going down. Well, I'm Deputy Slope. I work for the Pinal County Sheriff's Office traffic.
So he says Pinal. He says Pinal. Okay. Pinal. Pinal. Got it. All right. Got it. We're in it. We figured it. Yeah. Pinal. Wow, forget that immediately. But yeah, National Guard was good. It was very hot. I'm much more tan than I was when I started. I say much more. There's a noticeable difference now. But yes, yeah. If we can find some Soft-Sit videos, or him interacting with sovereign citizens, I absolutely watch it. It's not pronounced penal. Penal. It's Pinel. We just heard him say it. Bah. But yes, Pinal Bundy. No. Anyway, how are you guys doing? I feel like next 18 minutes we can just hang out. Main topic of the stream is over. Heck, It's not penal. What are you guys doing? What's going on? Wait, what's this? Oh, no. Tap. Get up. Wait. Oh, that's me. Anyway. How are y'all? Holy Jesus. What? Shay. What? All right, listen, Shay. First of all, I just checked the fundraiser, and sorry, I don't mean to call you out, Shay. First of all, thank you all so much. That's nuts, Shay. What's happening? You better be able to afford that. If you're like mortgaging a house, I'm going to be upset. But thank you so much. You know what this means? I wasn't going to do it. Well, yeah, we're going to do Twitch tonight, and there will be a 4-Loco alternative. Sassy Pinal merch. I want to make Frank merchandise himself and just send it to him. Like, not sell it. Just, hey, here's a graphic and here's a t-shirt that I put it on there for you if you want them. Just because I love it. I probably won't do it, but I love it. Reset his game to 10th. What does that mean? Oh, also, Artie and I, I'm trying to get him, and by trying to get him, I mean he's trying to get me to play Battle Bit, and I want to play that, and I'm going to try to get him to do it in a stream. For him interacting with Sovereign. Shit is sin. Oh, thank you for sending that to me. We'll save that for... Oh, Mark Baggett. Yes! God, look at that camera. Ah, yeah. Hit spot. You careful now. Careful. I will, Juggernaut, be gracing y'all with a Twitch stream. We just got to figure out what the Twitch stream is going to be. Number 33. Number 33. Okay, we were on 63. If I go to...
We get 400.
Okay, stop that. Number 33. Mudflap special. Oh, I want... Excuse Tsunami. All right, we're saving that one for later. Ooh, man, I can't wait to watch a bunch of these. It's been a while since I had some good...
Crimson Denizen became a member.
Thank you, Crimson Denizen. Sex offender stopped after crossing the border. Oh, that's not the actual interaction. Road Pirate 36. Yes. All right. And then Supervisor Quest 33. Multiple human smuggling attempts stopped. What? Oh, there are some good ones. Whoo. Window tint special. Window tint's a fun one. Did I ever tell you guys about how I used to deal with window tint? So I like to request the night shift because, first of all, anything that happens, it's paperwork. MPs do a lot of paperwork compared to civilian police. There are a bunch of reasons. I don't need to bore you with the details. So, day shift, specifically the morning shift, you get a lot of sort of cases because people are waking up and noticing crime has happened. And so it's not like exciting stuff. It's just you're taking the reports. You also get a lot of shoplifting on that and during the sort of afternoon shift. If stores are open, shoplifting. And we saw in Joint Base Lewis Court, which is where I did most of my MPing. So I like the night shift because when something goes down on the night shift, there's usually alcohol involved, which means it has the potential to get crazy. And it's domestic violence is a lot more common during the night as opposed to during the day, although it doesn't happen during the day. And it's not just because people think this. It's not just soldiers versus spouse. It's also often spouse versus soldier. It's often female versus male, and of course male versus female. Like it goes both ways. It's a thing. High stress jobs creates tension, and some people marry a little early because it gets them out of the barracks, and that creates problems. Regardless, I got specifically because of my good work on domestic violence cases. I actually got to attend the Domestic Violence Intervention Training School, DIVIT. It's like, wow, you're going to all of these. Let's get you some extra stuff. Not because they're like, you need extra stuff. It was more like, this is available. Do you want it? And I went, yes. It wasn't... That class could have been cut down by a few days. There's a lot that was just like, okay. But I got some good things out of it. It doesn't matter. But I've forgotten where I was going with this. Working the night shift. Oh, tint. That's right. So somewhere around 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, when everybody finally gets to sleep, that's usually where things die down a little bit. Things can still happen, but that's sort of where it drops off. Between like 8 and 2. That's when you expect the craziness to happen. 2 to 4, usually dead period, and then it starts to pick back up. In my experience. So I would go to the gates, and a lot of MPs complain about having to do gate guard shifts. I very infrequently did them, with the exception of Sergeant of the Guards, but I wasn't actually on the gate guard shift. I was in charge of the gate guards that were MPs. That's a whole different thing, doesn't matter. But when I was a patrolman, doing my patrol stuff, which was not most of my career, because usually I was in investigations, that's just me flexing, I would go there, and there's always traffic coming through at some point. You know, there's within 5 minutes, there's always going to be a vehicle. And they'd stop, and if I notice anything weird, I might stop them and hold them for a second, talk to them, be like, hey, your license plate cannot be mounted more than 4 feet off the ground, whatever. Now, when someone has dark window tint, there are certain levels of dark window tint you don't need a tint reader. Now, a tint reader is great because it gives you like a numerical thing, right? Like with speeding, if you have a radar, you have a number. If you don't have one, you can say drive in excess, dangerously, faster than all other traffic, pace them with whatever. Some places you can't pace, but that's whatever. There are ways that you would do it. It's less accurate. It's less effective. So do you need a tint reader? No. Is it useful? Yes. Did I have one? No. So if there was a vehicle that I knew had a legal tint, as in I couldn't see through it, and it is night shift, yes, but this is an entrance to military installations, very well lit. And they try to be like, oh, it's nighttime, that's why it looks so dark. A lot of lights coming down, bud. It's very bright right here. If you go, hello, sir. Real quick question before we let you on the base. Do you happen to know what level of tint your vehicle is? And if they said, the correct answer is, I don't, in that case. Those people are like, all right, thank you, have a nice day. Or evening, or morning, or whatever. If they said, yes, I do know what it is. I'd be like, hey, do you mind telling me? You don't have to tell me. They didn't have to tell me. But they'd be like, it's this amount. More commonly, they'd say, it's the legal amount. Say, like, right on the line, it's like, yeah, I made it as close to as dark as I could as possible. So I'm like, all right, so it's like 1% higher than the state limit, right? Yes. I go, great. Do you know what the state limit is? And they'd be like, 20. I'd be like, no, it's not. It's 24, 23. Let me see. Window tint law, Washington. It might have changed by now. Maximum 6 inches. 24. All right, it is 24. It has to let at least 24% of light in. So if your tint level is 24, that's what that means. If it's less than 24, it's letting less than 24% of the light in. That is illegal. And so they'd be like, often the number is 20. And if it was 25, great, you're good to go. But they'd be like, yeah, 20 is the legal limit. And so you're, what, 21? You just confessed to me now? That's not the legal limit. It's 24. And then they get real scared. And some of them would be like, very rarely, would be like, well, you don't have a tint reader, right? I'm like, no, but I don't need one. You've confessed it to me. You've just told me that you believe you are operating this vehicle illegally. And they get real scared and be like, hey, listen, I'm not looking to do the paperwork tonight. State Patrol, though, they're crazy. They love that paper. They have printers in their cars. It's nothing to them. I have to hand jam it. I have to do it in triplicate. I'm not trying to do that. I just want to let you know, soldier to soldier, that stop doing the wrong thing. Have a nice day, or evening, or morning. Now, theoretically, that should have held up in court. I never tested it, because I know Jag would have looked at it and go, stop being dumb. We don't have time for this. Because they don't. Theoretically, that was correct. But Jag doesn't like to deal with untested stuff. They are too overworked. They want things that are very, very well established, which is one of the reasons why we do so much paperwork. Makes it easier for them. I guess I did explain it. Hooray, we got through that. This is the part of the video where, in the beginning of the stream, I said, hey, if I talk too fast, feel free to slow it down. Here we are. I saw that, Linda. I know it's coming this time. Ha! We'll get to it. God, don't mind me. So that would be the game I played. People are like, oh, the gates are so boring. Nope, it's as fun as you make it. You can make it real fun. And I would do that. And sometimes they say, well, I bought it like this. And I'd go, that's not an excuse. However, it is a crime in Washington, I think, if I remember correctly, to sell someone an illegally tinted vehicle. So you might want to address it with them. I don't know. It's like, if that's a civil thing, if you need to make them pay for the cost of
Judy, you got this, became a member.
removing it, that might be something to talk to them about, because I believe that's illegal. But yeah, I'm not a lawyer. Jag might be able to help you out, and I send them on their way. And I never ticketed anyone for tint. I could have, but that's my tint story. Anyway, Linda, thank you so much. Says, hey, Blue, you have been missed. Oh, thank you. You have all been missed as well. Sending good vibes from Boston. Oh, I was just smack talking Boston the other day. The drivers, that is. I love Boston as a city. Massachusetts drivers, though, as someone from Vermont. My God. Not that Vermont is great. Anyway, it's fine. I'm happy to see you tonight. Well, thank you very much. Judy, you got this. Thank you for being a member, of course. It's Fridays with Frank, number 33. Another song, say please, and thank you. I already have it up. Check this out. Nope, that's 36. There it is. That's 33. You can go check.
71. Passing.
Yep, that's it. Got it. Ha! Faster than you. But thank you. I appreciate that. Let me know, because that is good to know. Yes. St. P. Barnes. What voice was it? It randomizes. I don't know what voice that was. It's random. Have a nice day, or evening, or morning. Hitchbot, you are free to use that. It was specific to that story. Blue and Kermie. All right, I can give you Blue and Kermie. Well, we want. You're supposed to touch your own nose. SFSTs. Yeah. No, your nose. All right, Cormit. I still got handcuffs on. Yes. It sounded like this voice.
Is this the voice? Is this the voice it sounded like? Wait, I found a thing.
So that's an AI voice. So it takes noise and it tries to make it into speech, which is why it's kind of the Morgan Freeman voice as well.
So it's not just like taking my voice and changing the tone. It's apparently also, it's like actual AI. I don't know the details, but I have audio. Whoa, I have I'm trying to make noise so you don't hear it. The air conditioner is going and it picks up that noise and tries to make it into something to the AI. Listen. That's not me. That's the air conditioner. So if I do something like this, and Judy, I think, goes wrestling with this in the art show the other time. I'm just hitting my desk. But it's trying to make speech out of it. I have this harmonica. I was playing around with this earlier.
So this is what it should sound like. Something, something, something. You know, but we do it through this.
I can't. Andy Dufresne. He was a good friend of mine in the yard, back when I was at Shawshank. Playing my harmonica. It sounded something like this. I'm not making this up.
We do that in the uwu voice. I don't know what it is. Hold on.
We'll do the same test with the tapping. Oh yeah. It's time. No. Right. We're gonna try the harmonica.
No. That was fun. All right. Yeah, it's not the perfect Morgan Freeman. I can but my Morgan Freeman isn't good either. So no, if I can get it okay. I have to sort of work on it to get the vocal fry down, and then you just kind of relax and you talk about Andy Dufresne, of course, and I'm like 20% there. But yeah, I'm not the best Morgan Freeman voicer ever, of course. Yeah, sorry, headphone users, but I don't tell you. I don't know what open cushion sounds like. I don't have one. I'll blow raspberries into it.
All right, here we go. Why does the bell sound like? Sick beats. All right. That's horrifying. I hate that. I hate that so much. I don't know, sorry. That was a little thing.
That was me looking at that. You guys being very generous. It's nuts for this lawsuit fundraiser. Thank you all so very much. And I do want to reiterate with that. I don't know that this will end up costing me $15,000. That's just what I had to take and put elsewhere. But yeah, I really appreciate it. I tried to make it so I could like give benefits for certain levels of donation. Apparently, GoFundMe, you cannot do that. They explicitly say do not do that. But yes. What is the train of truth? The train of truth does not go through my microphone. That is just an audio button I press. Anyway, but yes. Hey, we have, okay, we need some Kermit. Trumpet. Huh. All right, let's get some of that trumpet going. You're right. And then if someone has a Kermit idea, I'll do one Kermit song. Probably. This is what it actually sounds like. This is the, so I'll give you the was. I was just making whale noises, and then. What's the ooh one?
Alright, here we go.
If you're wondering what that sound was. That was that. Did I upgrade Bluetooth? No, because Bluetooth has a delay, and there's already a delay between my audio, what I'm saying, and what I'm hearing. Yeah, it just sort of blends into the shirt. I got both of them in. Usually there's just one dangling, like that. But I got both of them, baby! All right. Sea shanty. That's what I heard. It's a baloney proclamation. I could do the Canadian national anthem as Kermit, but that might be offensive. Oh, we have fun here. There's a little bit of crazy frog for you there. All right. Sea shanty. Do I remember any sea shanty? There's the Wellerman, of course. Rocky Road to Dublin. That's not a sea shanty, is it? Oh, that's. Take Me Home Country Roads is not a sea shanty. All right. Wellerman. Santillana. Drunken Sailor, I suppose, would be, yes. All right. Bear with me. Oh, Quebecians with their Quebec. All right, it worked. Let me just. Oh no. There we go. Kermit, you ready? Okay, I guess. We're gonna do it in Canadian accent, eh? I am Canadian Kermit, eh? Oh, how about that? Are you done? Maybe. Okay, fine. Hi, everyone, it's me. It's Kermit. I haven't done this in a while, so forgive me. You haven't heard what Kermit sounds like for a while. It's been a few weeks. Yeah, I can tell. I sound terrible. Anyway, we'll figure it out as we go. We're going to do the Wellerman. Yay! If you, also, I have handcuffs. Don't, because, anyway, reasons. Don't mind me. Yeah, this is a weird thing we do at the end of stream sometimes, because people like it. Don't know why, but it happens. Hooray! Where Kermit does karaoke, and then the video gets demonetized. Hooray! That's all right. Do we monetize streams usually? No, we usually don't. Oh, well, there you go. All right, so doesn't matter. Artistic license to do this, although the technically we don't have the rights to the audio playing behind us. Wellerman. Is Wellerman technically public domain? I have no idea. All right. Well, anyway, it doesn't matter. Legalities. Yay! Let's do it. Let's try to do it. Do you remember it? We'll see. Okay. All right. Frog in my throat. There once was a ship that put to sea. The name of the ship was the Billy O.T. The winds blew up her bow, dipped down, oh blow, my bully boys blow. Soon may the Wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. She'd not been 2 weeks from shore when down on her a right whale bore. The captain called all hands and swore he'd take that whale in tow. Soon may the Wellerman come, thank you, bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. Da 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 da. Before the boat had hit the water, the whale's tail came up and caught her. All hands to the side, harpoon and fought her when she dived down low. Soon may, thank you, Wellerman, come and bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. The line was cut, no whale was freed. The captain's mind was not of greed, but he belonged to the whaleman's creed. She took that ship in tow. Soon may the Wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. You're killing it. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. You dig this? Da 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 da. We're 40. That was damn, dude. More the line went slack then tight once more. All boats were lost, there were only 4, but still that whale did go. Soon may the Wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. As far as I've heard, the fight's still on, the line's not cut, and the whale's not gone. The Wellerman makes his regular call to encourage the captain, crew, and all. Soon may the Wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. Soon may the Wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. Yay! Anyway. You like that? Yes. Oh, Hoist the Colors would have been fun. It's too late. That's the one you got. Oh, yeah. Kermit on the green screen is a ghost. Oh, that would have been a fun one. Ness and Dorma. No. 5150 in my future. Yeah, well, in Canada, or California, excuse me. Yeah, probably, yeah. Anyway, I'm going to leave. I'm going to go to Twitch, twitch.tv/Sergeant Blue Bacon. Hold on, we got to figure out what I'm going to do. Are we doing VR chat, folks? VR chat, folks, are we doing that? Or am I doing my, bit of my shooty, pew-pew shenanigans? What am I looking at? What am I thinking of? You know what I'm thinking of. Hold fast, that's the one. Am I doing that, or am I doing VR? Do I have the VR people that are going to do it? You can do VR. All right. Yes. Okay. I'm going to do it. We're going to do VR. I'm going to get my Four Loko alternative. Touche says, will you dress up as Commander Reich for Halloween? Don't tempt me. I can't promise it, but I do like that idea. We might do Hold Fast and VR. Who knows? But we'll do VR first. Utica, steamed hams. And this time of day in this part of the country, localized entirely in your kitchen. Can I see it? All right. Ladies and gentlemen, twitch.tv/Sergeant Blue Bacon. SGTBLUE.
Touche became a member.
BACON. Touche! Thank you so much. Also, by the way, Yes, I think that covers it. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been wonderful. Thank you so much for being here. Oh, it's great to be back in the saddle. But yes, more of a data. How dare you? With these cheekbones? Sorry, that's a chin. These cheekbones? I don't know. Maybe I'll go bald and be Picard. All right, good B, Girk, Sulu, bring us on course. We have to go investigate the planet over there. All right. Anyway, Twitch, I'm out. You guys are wonderful. Thanks so much for being you. And, ladies and gentlemen, till the next time, be good. Stay safe.